Welcome, I'm TW. Today, I'll be looking at John 1 verse 14. It said, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us." How is this possible? Is this a once in a lifetime event? I'm here to tell you that no, it's not a once in a lifetime event. This is happening all the time, always. You are doing it, but you just don't realize that you are doing something like this, where you're turning your word into flesh and becoming what that is. This is what it really is. The thought or the word or the idea that you let in, that you accommodate and you let in to occupy your mind, at some point become you. Once you put your belief in those thoughts and those ideas, eventually, once you start taking action, once you make the decision about any ideas and you start taking action, then you, in that process, carrying out that action of that thought, which was a word, which is the idea, in that process of acting out that word, that thought, you become that thing. I want you to also recognize something here, because this is important. Whatsoever the idea is or the thought is, they're the one sitting in control of the movement of your daily routine, the movement of your body. They are giving you signal to go here and to go there. They are directing your movement back and forth in their endeavor. When the right idea, thought, words, or belief become flesh or become you in anyone, it will accomplish its task and become a blessing when the right word enter and you accommodate the right words that become the right ideas, and they work through you and get into existence. It become a blessing for you. The opposite of this is also true, because if you accumulate the wrong words and ideas, then it will become a curse for you. As I say lots of time, you creating your own outcome by the thoughts you accommodate. And just like JC, when I say JC, I'm talking Jesus Christ. Just like JC word is him and he is his word, the same thing. You become your own words, your ideas you become, the things you believe in you become, and you defend them to the max because they are the truth for you. Even if it's a lie, it's the truth. So whatsoever you believe in, you become. What does it really mean? The words becoming flesh and made his dwelling among us. Let's look at this, okay? Because when you have a thought, for example, you have the thought of being a trucker, a mechanic, a plumber, a welder, a doctor, a lawyer, whatsoever, an electrician, a nurse, whatsoever that is, an accountant, whatever that profession is. The words of that profession you got to learn. You got to know the ins and outs. You got to do the studying. You got to know. You got to gain the knowledge. And that knowledge of all those professions, once you learn and you start carrying out the duties of this profession, then that's what you become. Because remember, at first, the thought of you being this profession comes in, and you gotta move back and forth to accomplish and become this profession. Does not matter what profession it is, but it comes in as a thought in the beginning, and it moves you to come into existence and becoming this thing. And you embodied this knowledge, and you using this knowledge to execute your profession, to carry out your work in the external world. This is what it means. The word becoming flesh and make its dwelling among us. You become whatsoever profession you are right now, or whatsoever circumstance you are in right now. You are the one who put this together at some point in the past and saying you want to be at this position in this time, and you work to achieve what you achieve. Sometimes these things happen consciously, and sometimes they happen unconsciously. And when I say unconsciously, I'm talking about the people who bring a lot of suffering to themselves because they don't know exactly what kind of words they're bringing into being, what kind of ideas they're bringing into being. And when they become those things, they realize they're creating a lot of suffering for themselves. Once you understand the knowledge that those words bring into your life, then you become that profession, and that profession become you. And this is the process of a word becoming flesh. Let's look at John chapter 2. I'm going to skip over some of the parts here. Jesus was at a wedding and they ran out of wine. And his mom said, "They have no wine." And she said to a servant, "Whatsoever he tell you to do, do it." And Jesus said to the servant, "Fill up the water jar." And so the servant did. And he turned the water into wine. Just like that. He turned water into wine. And the wine was so good, when they bring the wine to the master of the wedding banquet, he said, after he tasted the wine, he said to the bridegroom, "You have saved the best wine for last." Look, I don't believe that this is the first time that JC was doing something like this, because if he did not do something like this before, how would his mom know about this? That means he have done this before for her to have such confidence to just say, "Look, they have no wine," and telling the servant to do whatsoever he asks them to do. Because if he did not do this before, how could his mom know he was capable of doing something like this? Now, how much confidence do you have to have in yourself? What do you have to believe to turn water into wine? He did not even taste it. He just said, "Take it to the master of the banquet." Now, for you to accomplish something like this, your belief, I shouldn't say belief, because this is beyond belief. This, you gotta know within yourself that you're capable of this. Your belief within yourself gotta be in tip-top shape. This is flawless. This is knowledge beyond ordinary people like me and you. If you gotta dig in behind the scene, what he's thinking when he's carrying out this, to turn water into wine or any one of his miracles that he work, what frame of mind do one gotta be in to act in this kind of way and to produce such result? If you look deep within this, then you can see that the belief system or the knowledge that's on the interior of JC, it's totally different from the knowledge that anyone around him at that time have. This is not done by a mediocre belief. This is on another level. It is done by the strongest of confidence within oneself that you can possibly have. Because for you to accomplish something like this, you gotta know the ins and out of the spiritual world. You gotta know the makeup of these things for you to just speak and things come into being like that. For us, it takes time to develop things, but to speak and to get things into existence is not an ordinary task. What do you think would happen when there is no doubt in your mind about what you believe to be true? Look at it. It has moved mountain for people. It have caused revolution within people. But this was not an ordinary belief that you have. This is knowledge of knowing stuff, knowing how things work. Because at some point you gotta move beyond belief and get to know and have that confidence that when you say something, that's what's gonna happen. And JC was in this place when he utter a word, when it comes out of his mouth, he have no doubt of what's taking place. He have no doubt. Remember, this was said in the beginning of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when you look at this, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. If the Word is what's bringing things into existence, then it's only proper for you to dig into the kind of words you're using and bringing things into existence. Because here, JC is using the right words, or the right belief, or the right knowledge behind these words, the right intention behind these words, and turning things and changing things by just speaking. And when you speak, you got to be careful what is coming out, because it's what you build up inside you're pushing out. Well, to get to this point that JC get to, as I say, it's beyond belief. This is knowledge coming from deep, deep down within. Remember to bring some clarity and some awareness into your creative space. 10 to 12 deep breaths can get you started. Thanks for dropping by. Peace. out.